Good morning, y'all. Welcome back. I appreciate everybody who keeps watching these videos. I am at the course that I have seen the most requests for. This is Hornings Hideout, the Meadow Ridge course. Championship level course here. It's an absolute meat grinder. I think even par generally rates over 1,000, so it's a whooping. I'm going to do my best to show you guys the actual holes. This will probably be a little bit of a longer video just because I'm going to talk through a lot of this because I've had folks specifically ask for it. There's a lot of brush here, a lot of stuff in the way, so I'm gonna do my best to get camera angles, but I got, one camera on a tripod on my bag, so I'm gonna do my best again. So, without further ado, hole one. Oh, for note, I'm gonna play to the long baskets today. Thank you, airplane. There's two sets of baskets on Meadow Ridge. There's the old Hornings baskets, car wheel baskets, and there's a set of disc catchers that are the longs. I'm playing to the longs, and I'm gonna tell you about whatever Mandos and stuff I can think of for actual tournament level play. So, without further ado, hole one. It's hard to see with this camera angle. It's straight up this forest gap and it's on the edge of a cliff. So there's kind of two ways to think about it. You can go straight up the gut here, which I don't have a real good camera angle on, but it's really tight, lots of trees and lots of schnarb. And then you can go down to the bottom here with a little forehand or a lefty backhand or a turnover. And that'll leave you a clean look up to play for par. At my level, parking this is a pipe dream. So I just play for the hopefully easy-ish par by going with the forehand down the hill. So let's see how that looks. It certainly isn't easy. You can still see there's a ton of stuff in the way. Right now, Oregon is very lush and overgrown. So see if I can get my disc down there. Oh, I did a pretty good job with that. Okay, I think I hit some trees, but I'm down there. I should have a look at the basket. That's really all I ask for. Well, you can see the short Hornings basket off to the right here. I'm gonna call these Hornings baskets for the time being because they are Bob's invention, I guess. And then the disc catcher is back there on the edge of a cliff. It is a drop off right behind it, so it's all about distance control here. This is right where I wanna be personally. This is my tournament play as of now. Let's see if I can give myself a putt here. Slow down, Berg. All right, I hit the tree right next to the basket. I think that saved me from going down the cliff. I pushed that way too hard. Well, that's exactly what happened. As you can see, this just disappears down to Nowheresville. Lots of these hills on this course, so it's avoiding those, but par on hole one, I'm always happy with that, always. Okie doke, hole two, another fun one. This goes left to right. There's a whole bunch of trees in the way and a deer, if you can see the deer walking right now. Hopefully I don't hit him. She is right by the Hornings basket, the short, which is straight ahead. The long basket is up and a dog leg to the right. I'd have to look at the sign again to see how long it is. If you have a bomber forehand, you can get out there. If you're playing for par, a forehand will get you out there. For the rest of us, the turnover backhand with a driver is usually the play to get close to the basket. I really hope you could see the deer on camera. That was kind of cool. He walked right by the basket. I don't usually get that far, so I feel pretty safe right now. All right, I'm aiming for this right gap here and kind of a spray and pray for me. I hit it. Okay, I don't know how well that's gonna show up, but that's exactly what I wanna do. I'm probably short and kind of in the field, but I'm gonna have an open look for a long putt or for a par save. So it's about where I normally end up. I've been up for a look for the birdie before, but I have to throw a really good shot and be warmed up, and I'm not really warmed up. So out here, I'm just trying to hoof and keep it under these branches, give myself that easy par tap in. Go in. Good run. That'll be the easy par I was looking for. Again, at the risk of sounding like a broken record out here, par is over 1,000 here, so I'm basically playing damage control a lot of these holes. If you're a MPO pro level player, of course you're attacking a lot of these a little bit more, but me as a MA2 level player, I'm playing for par on a lot of these, and so that's what I'm gonna be presenting. Okie doke, hole three, about as much fun to film as it is to play. I will post a picture in a second from the top of the hill so you can see down. This goes up and back down. It is a sea of trees up here. It's a lot of spray and pray. There's a few lines. You can go backhand turnover and down, or kind of straight shot. There's a gap to the right here if you feel like risking it. I see people go big forehand anti-flex or forehand turnover. I've dead ass seen people just go straight out the bottom into the field and play up. I personally have been trying to go mid-range turnover through this left gap. It gives me a full view of the basket if I miss, which I usually do. So let's see how today goes. And in the process of getting my disc out here, my bag fell over, so I had to reset all that. So I'm going slight turnover with an MD3 and just praying I hit this gap. I usually early release, so let's try and not curse myself into that today. Oh, that's okay. Disc kept turning and turning and turning. Oh my God. Well, I'm all the way down past 18's tee pad, which is not a good place to be, but I have never been down there, so let's go see what that looks like. Well, this is suboptimal. This is 18's tee pad here. I don't know if you can see the basket, but it's up behind this couple set of trees here. This is not where I want to be. If I'm going to be down here, I want to be in this opening over here to the left. So I could go backhand right over the trees here. I think I'm going to go forehand and try and scoot it up there. See how that goes. Probably not well. Oh, I got right through them. Okay, I think that's perfect. I think I'm right under the basket. That's a pretty good save from being all the way down here like 70 long. Even better than I thought. Under the basket. So lucky save. This one usually gets away from me in the tournament. I don't know why, but I usually hit early trees that end up with a 4. So missing long right and getting a 3 is pretty good. 4 is another hole that it's very hard to film because of the cliff right behind the tee pad. You're going up over this hill through this, again, maze of trees. Stop me if you've heard that one already. Back down the other side, it is, let's even look, 260, but it's like plus 40 feet in the air. So it's a pretty good pull. I will again show a little video clip or something from the top here so you can see what it looks like once you get to the top of this crest. But for me, it's spray and pray again. I just throw up there and hopefully have myself a look where I can throw up for my 3. I'm gonna give this a go with my new Raider, my stepson's art on it. This one's pretty stable already, so I'm gonna give it a little bit of turn and hopefully miss all these early trees. Oh, that's a little right, but I should have a look up there. I'm not too upset with that. If I get through this first set of trees, I usually feel pretty good about having a look at the basket. Well, not in a bad spot here. I could throw a backhand or a forehand here. I'm gonna try forehand. Right to the left of the basket is a pretty steep slope that runs away. A lot of risk, so I'm gonna try and end up short over there. Had a guy take a 7 in a tournament here just because his putts kept rolling down the hill, so. I'm gonna apologize for my heavy breathing. Not only am I out of shape, but this course is up, 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 and down. Cash. You can see that, like, even though I'm like 3 feet from the basket here, it's not unobstructed. I have to go through these branches. And I did run the risk of the rollaway. I skirted right on the edge of the hill with this little forehand, but another par. 5, another one I gotta get creative with filming. It goes up over this little ridge here and then down and to the left. It's not really that far. I tend to overshoot it actually, but I'm gonna stick to my guns and go FD3. If you go inside gap, you gotta cut it right by this tree here and keep it tight to the edge of the woods. If you go out to the right, it's gotta cut way back left. Basket again is on a hill with a big rollaway down to previous baskets. So if you get too far right, you will roll, and sometimes it's 5 minutes to try and find your disc down at the bottom of the hill somewhere. So I'm gonna try and hit the skinny gap here. Let's see what happens. I think that's okay. That might be just long and left. Oh, hit a tree and hit solid ground. So I might be far enough right that I'm out of the stuff. I might also have rolled down the hill. Let's find out. Well, hell yeah, I am basically parked here. So I'm thinking I landed up on the hill up here to the left and probably rolled over. I have a little bit of a tough putt here. This tree is just enough in the way. See if I can even convert this. I can. Let's go. That's a good birdie. First birdie under par. Hole 6, if this hole is not an indication of what to expect at this course as far as elevation and stuff goes, I don't know what is. Goes straight up this steep ass hill and then continues up and to the left, all the way back to a kind of like recessed little green pocket with this steep slope just to the left of it with huge rollaway potential. So this is a good chance to, out of breath, talk about carts and stuff here and the play of this course. Honestly, like, I think for seniors and young folks, this is probably not a good course. It's a really long walk. It's a ton of vertical up and down and up and down. If you get off in the stuff, it's really kind of dangerous. It's very steep, lots of little drop-offs and places to slip. If it's wet, it's really muddy. And for carts and stuff, I mean, just look at dragging your cart up this. It's a pain in the butt. So Meadow's definitely an expert level course. Very tough to play and very tough just to navigate even. So I just try on this hole to go straight up the gap here, just make it to the top of the hill, and then give myself another look to try and get to the basket again. Stop me if you've heard that one. I've seen people go forehand on this hole, backhand on this hole. Thumber to the top seems like a popular play sometimes. I just try and go understable backhand straight up there and try and make it through the stuff up to the top and hope I can actually see the basket from the top of the hill. Oh, great shot, Joel. Awesome, that's exactly what I want, right in the middle. Well, this is one of the better spots I've ever been on this hole. Still not a gimme. I have this tree right in the middle of the line where I want to go, and again, you can see the sheer drop off over there. I could go backhand through this stuff here and hope for the best. I could try and go straight up the gut. I am going to try the forehand and see what happens as I try and catch my breath up here and deal with these summer mosquitoes, spring mosquitoes. Ugh. This is such a beautiful place. I'm so thankful that Bob built this and that we're allowed to play here. Wow, I really don't know what to do here. All right, I'm actually gonna try this skinny up the gut here. I'd rather be right than anything. Certainly don't want to be left. Oh, well, that happens. This is what happens when you're too worried about being left and tug it into the tree. So, see if I can keep this one up there, save my bogey. That is way too high. Oh, I almost dunked it. I think that's stuck. I didn't see it roll, so that's a good sign. I did, in fact, stick it. So, bogey here, not a big deal. I'm not down the hill. I'm not taking some big squiggly number. 4 is fine, back to even par. 7 is another one, extremely hard to film. This is the first par 4 for us amateurs. I believe it plays as a 3 for the pros, which is freaking brutal. Really hard to tell, but it goes straight up here through all this stuff on the right, and then it kind of veers slowly to the right to a basket, again, right on the edge of a cliff. It's one of those where you get up there and you have to make that decision to run it and risk a huge roll away or not. I will show another clip from up at the top there so people can kind of see, you know, what it looks like from the top of this hill. But I'm trying to play turnover around this left tree up onto the top, and then again give myself some kind of look at the basket for an approach for the par or for birdie on this hole. If I can get up to the top cleanly, I can actually get a birdie look on this hole. So let's find out. Another one, I see people go forehand a lot if you have a big forehand. I've seen people go out through this gap on the right with either a big kind of axie turnover or not. You risk fading out, and again, it's another like steep cliff to the right the whole way. So if you get off to the right, you're in trouble. So I'd rather be up here to the left in this junk than off to the right in any way. That is going to be 2 left, but I'm up there. We'll see how it plays. Well, I've ended up right up here, kind of side of the main path. I'd rather be up here in this open where I can have an actual look at the basket, but anywhere up here I'm fine with. Short basket's right over here on the side of the cliff. The long is way down there, another, man, probably 280 or so. I'm going to take this safe left gap with the forehand, just try and give myself something close to the basket and stay away from this cliff on the right and hope for the best. Let's see what I can do here. As long as I don't saw this off, I should be safe from the cliff. Famous last words though, right? No, that's fine. Didn't get much on it, but that should be fine. Well, this turned out okay. A little farther left than I expected. I really thought I was in this stuff. I must have hit the tree and kicked over here. So you can see the drop off here and how it's really a no-go. So I'm gonna risk the roll away. I'm going to lay up with my reel shot here, and then I'm gonna run it just to see what happens. And hopefully I don't go down the cliff. So here's my layup. That rolled away anyway. I think it stopped right behind the basket. All right, let's run it. It's hard with these mosquitoes in my eyeballs. Nope, that's a goner. All right. Oh well, let's go find some discs. Well, my layup thankfully stopped right here where I thought it did, so nice par here. I actually see my run, and it's within running distance right on this tree here, so that wouldn't have been the end of the world. But speaking of the underworld, let's go to the top of the world. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that climbing montage. Good example of what I was talking about a couple holes ago about how tough this is for seniors or young kids and stuff. Definitely need to be in some shape to play out here. It is a beatdown. I'm still huffing and puffing after like a 3 or 4 minute break after walking up there. So we are to probably the iconic hole at Meadow Ridge, top of the world. So a couple lines you can play here. I play forehand flex down and just spray and pray. It is a tough hole with a lot of stuff. You usually end up on the steep hill here, which is just really tough to deal with. I've seen people go straight at it with a putter, backhand, lots of forehand flex. Again, thumber and tomahawk are popular plays here. You really can attack it however you feel comfortable, going straight down a steep hill and trying to finish kind of forward and to the right. Let's go usual forehand flex here. I'm hoping to make it through one of these early gaps and coast out and end up finishing off to the right, which is where I want to be for the putt. This is a really tough hole either way. I do not like it. And that was brutal. Okay, I think I'm going to be on the side of the hill. Let's go see if I can find that disc. Well, for the most part, while I'm here to enjoy and praise Hornings, oh my God, these bugs. I have to say, I find hole 8 to be unequivocally the worst hole in the state of Oregon. It is extremely dangerous. I have already slipped like 10 times and I'm in relatively decent shape. I threw this disc, searched for almost 20 minutes, went back up through provisional. I'm gonna lose that disc. It's off in God knows where. I finally found my disc over here, literally just walking back down to go get my provisional. And again, it's such a spray and pray hole. It's gimmicky as all heck. It looks cool from the top, but like you wear yourself out walking to the top and then you gotta climb down this steep cliff. And if it wasn't dry out here, it'd be even more dangerous. So that's all I'm gonna say about it. Rant over. I think it's a terrible hole and it really is a damper on this entire course. All right, gotta save myself here with all these bugs in my ear. This is obnoxious. Okay, I'm just really trying to get through this stuff here and down close to the basket. This is bogey for sure, so. If that pans out, it might, nope. Well, that's whatever. I'm just ready to get down out of these bugs. Well, after all of that, I'm left with decently long look for par. I really thought I hit one of these trees over here. So unless I rolled way down here, I was gonna go way long with this upshot. All right, let's see if I can comically save par on this hole after thinking I lost my disc. Do it. Let's go! My opinion hasn't changed though. Still think this is a terrible hole. It's too dangerous for me. It's just too much walk up and down. If you hit any of the 84 trees, you're off on a steep slope like this, you know, struggling to keep your balance. There's lots of pointy sticks and stuff like that. So For me, I could do without this hole. I think it should be skipped altogether. Maybe played as like a special tournament hole or something, but in general, could live without it. Nice putt though. Okie doke, 60-foot par save or so to lift my spirits back up after a 20-25 minute disc search, and lost my proxy as my provisional, but whatever. This hole was down sharp right and back up the hill. I'll throw another video here from down in the field over there, kind of looking back. You really gotta saw a forehand off here. It's actually really easy to go too long on this hole and end up down the hill by the short pin. So I'm really just trying to saw off something really overstable and cut it way to the right, and hopefully stay short enough that I can go back up the hill. It's like almost a U shape back up the hill to the long basket. That'll be okay. Might actually be too long, we'll see. You can see how tight this little gap I've got here is up to this basket. I'm gonna go a little backhand tactic here. See if I can just pop it right up there. Forehand's probably the play here, but I think the backhand's safer for me. Parked, easy tap in par. I don't actually see how you can birdie this hole, barring like an extremely sawed-off forehand and then a super long putt. There's no gap, there's no line through the forest here. So really you got to get down to the bottom and then make something really long to get the birdie. Well, apologies in advance for how hard this one again is to film, and I'm having to film it on the front camera just because I can't get behind it very far. This is second par 4. There's two kind of roads you can take here. This road up here to the left for a forehand or a turnover or a lefty shot is pretty clear once you get past this first row of trees, but there is a drop off to the left down to another fairway. The other play some people make is they go big choppy forehand flex up this right road here. I've seen both work, but once you get up past this row of trees, you'll see it opens up a little bit, but then there's another kind of row of trees like this that you have to navigate through to get up to the basket. This is a really tough little par 4. It's not overly long, but it is a pain in the butt. I go with flippy driver and try and get around the row of trees. Both are tough plays. If you do the forehand, you've got a really tough angle here. You got to get around these early trees. So interesting decision make. Miss it. Didn't miss it. Well, if you hit an early tree, this is the price you pay. I've got a wall of trees here. The fairway's back up there, but I'm literally on the fairway for hole like 15 here. Birdie, even par is probably out of the question here, so my chance right now is to pump a backhand up and try and get back up onto the trail area. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my medicine here. This is not where you want to be in a tournament, let's put it that way. Oof, okay. Let's hack and slash our way up there, shall we? I am, whoa, good Lord. Very much just taking medicine here. I'm going to tomahawk back up to the path and try and save a double bogey. Hit another tree, why not? Let's go see where that left me. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull this to the right and really let it ride. I can't even see the basket yet. It's way up there still. Boy, howdy. The short on this one is a lot easier. Okay. I still have, man, 120 feet maybe. It's not around on Meadow Ridge until you've had one hole eat you absolutely alive though, and might as well be this one for me. Got pretty lucky on a couple other ones, so I'm gonna take my squiggly number. Let's do it on 10. Was not intending to go around that tree. And I think I rolled a little bit down the hill. Well, let's go see the damage. Okay, the roll wasn't too bad. So, I believe this is for 6. 1 to the field, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, for 6. Not where I want to be, but There are worse things. All right. Or 7. Boy, howdy. Hard to get a good camera look, but 11 pretty straightforward. Fight through one of these various tree gaps and try and get up to the basket that's up on the perch on the side of the hill there. There's a lot of different routes you can take here. Some people go forehand through this wide route. Some people, closest I've ever seen it was a tomahawk that somebody threw and it just made it up there. So I go this backhand line and try and fight through the trees and end up over there. Out of my fucking ear. Cool. Had a mosquito straight in my ear hole as I'm throwing, but whatever, I'm in the fairway. Well, not the best spot. The basket is, I don't know if the camera can see it, but it's straight through this tree gap here back in the thing. I'm gonna go kind of a reach out forehand, get around this little maple. I could do a little Annie here, but I think the forehand hyzer is probably the best play. I think that's right up by the basket. Well, left myself a bit more than I wanted to on that up, but this should not be a tough putt. Welp. Involves another weird downhill toss from up on the side of the cliff. Kind of tree tunnel. There's a hill to the left here that's kind of steep and funnels down. And the basket's on like a raised cement thing on the side of the hill. Really tough basket location to putt to because if you miss, there's big rollaways. I'll get a camera view up from down there, looking back up here and over there once I get down there. But just try and buzz one straight through the trees, keep it low, and let it fade in close to the basket, and hopefully you have a look at it. It's 400 feet, but it's quite a bit downhill, so it doesn't play that far. It's really easy to go long, and it's slopey down to 10s fairway down there, so I try and keep it fairly low. Go in. I think I'm a little short left, but I should be down there. I don't think I'm too far up the side of the hill in the stuff, so let's go find out. Pretty good tee shot all told. I'm in this stuff here, and I have a look, but it's tough on the side of this hill here. So I'm gonna do that thing again where I lay up one of these and then I run the other. So there's my layup. Let's see if I can one. Nope. And there's the roll away into the bag. Boof. So that roll away there, if it hadn't hit my bag, it probably would have ended up at close to 100 feet. It just keeps going and going and going down this hill. And I've watched so many people, including myself in the tournaments, try and run a putt from over here, miss, have it go, and then just end up way down at the bottom of the hill. On to 13, apologize for the sign. Again, there's not a lot of place to put your camera around here. There's trees and stuff right behind the basket, or the tee pads. There's often a drop off. Anyway, straight through this sign here is a Meadow tree to the left in the tournament. It's painted and marked. You can end up anywhere out to the right here. There's a sea of trees to go through. It's like a little cliff up there, and then the basket is another 60, 70 feet past that cliff. So for me, I just kind of play a slight turnover between the Meadow and these trees here, try and get up the hill up there, and give myself some kind of look for a long run. Oh, it's really good. Push past, get up the hill. All right, I think I got kicked down. Yeah, kicked down at the base of the hill. Not right where I want to be, but like I should be able to punch out of there and have an easy little look up for my up and down. Well, I'm in here, and unfortunately I have this freaking mistletoe in the way. Don't like this stuff. Hurts the hand. So I'm gonna step way back here, try not to touch it on my follow through, and just push this up close to the basket. The short basket's right in front of me. Really actually going to be kind of an obstacle, so. Oh, that's really good. Go in. Parked right next to it. Pretty decent par save here. 14 is kind of a cool hole, another one from the top of a cliff down. You've got kind of this field goal, big gap, and there's a couple skinnier gaps down to the open field down there, and then it goes straight to the left a couple hundred feet. So really my goal here is to just push through this gap and get me out in the field. The farther out in the field you are, the better angle you have at the basket, which is kind of up on a hill, back on the side of this hill here. So for me, I just try and pipe one down there. I've seen people go forehand flex here. Again, tomahawk or thumber to try and get down there. For me, it's just a straight fade backhand and try and get through the gap and down into the field. I'm gonna throw my PD here. Don't wanna go too far, but I do wanna get out into the field there. Oh, I piped it. Missed the branch. Oh, I missed it. That's gonna be so good. Oh, that's like my best tee shot ever on this hole. Let's go. Well, really good tee shot for me here. I've got about 150 left to the basket here. I'm gonna try my berg up the gut here. Really would love my proxy, but I lost it on hole 8 on that provisional. So I'm gonna try and keep this low and hard. See if I can gun it in there. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I'll leave me a 10-foot tap. Leaving the camera down at the bottom of the hill here so you can kind of see the slope you got to fight to get up to this basket. It's on a little hiking trail here. Okay. Well, there's my first putting yikes of the day. All right, on to 15 here where the sign's been knocked over. The fatigue is real at this point. Like, this is the only round I've played today and I am dragging already, and I still got several holes, including a 1,000-foot hole to go. So this one is a low hyzer under the trees here. The basket is up on the side of the hill. They do a really good job here of putting the baskets in tough locations, like up on mounds, up on the side of the hill, places with rollaways and trees in the way and stuff. It makes it really challenging. So it's a pretty easy play if you keep your hyzer low and skip it up in there. You can go mid-range fairway driver depending on your arm. All of them work, just got to keep it low, and you kind of got to saw it off and keep it tight. Gonna just throw an FD3 here, try and keep it low and skip up in there. That's pretty good, I think. Couldn't see where it skipped to, but I think it'll play. Well, this worked out super good for me. I've often gone too much disc here, assuming this is farther than it is. And so, pretty happy to dial it down a bit and be here. This is still not an easy putt. I got this little branch sticking out right where I normally would putt. So, see if I can make it for last hole's blunder. I cannot. Holy cow. That is fatigue setting in though, man. My putting is all over the place right now. Here we go. Here's the fun one. Nearly 1,000 feet. It's a kind of a whoopy fairway here with absolute death on the left. If you get over there, it's thick and it's kind of cliffy. So you've got to go all the way down this fairway, veer a bit left, and then there's a Meadow. And then you have to cut backwards from the Meadow to the basket. It's probably 100, 130 feet from the Meadow. So it's a par 5 and plays like every bit of a par 5. I believe it averages like well over 5 even for the pros during tournaments. So for me, I'm just going to try and be out in the fairway here. I've got a bit of a left to right tailwind, so I'm just going to huck it out and try and give myself another shot to get somewhere up there for it. Kind of cruel to have this long ass hole at the end of this beat down of a course too when you're already tired. That's a good pull. A little low. I'll take that. Wind's picking up a little bit. I'm just out here in the middle of the fairway. It's got these lines in it that tell you how far you've gone. I'm sure I've gone 350 or something. But gonna try and get back up over this hill. I'm gonna try and stay right actually because I want a wide approach into the Meadow, or else once you get a little pinched off, it's really hard to make that Meadow and not go down the hill behind it. That's a good pull. That'll be fine. Well, it's gonna be hard to see it here, but that's the Meadow right there. You see this gap up here? There's two trees leaning, and the one to the right is the Meadow, and then the basket is back down this way. So I'm gonna pump my Justice out to the right there, and hopefully just let it fade to the gap of the tunnel. Again, without 450, 500 distance, I'm playing this for 5, and just trying not to miss this Meadow. Oh, I think that's really good too. It's gonna make the Meadow. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Made the Meadow, hooked inside. I actually went farther than I meant to. I actually ended up down the tunnel, so I'm hoping I didn't go down the hill to the creek behind it, but I made the Meadow and I'm down the hill. That's good. Let's try this again now that I'm done choking on this frickin' mosquito. Got a pretty good result here. I realistically can't run this because of the hill behind it, but gonna lay up and take my par on this. Par on this hole feels great. Perfect, right under the basket. Leave it up here so you can see how steep this hill is behind it. But 5 on this hole is good. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the pros average at or over par on this one. It's a tough hole. It's long and it's got this tough Meadow to make. So, good stuff. Home stretch 17, steep uphill. You can probably see the short basket. The long is just a little bit behind it. So it's not a hard play, but just to get up to the road and have a putt up there feels like a win sometimes with all this stuff in the way. Kind of a low ceiling shot that you have to get up a hill still. That'll play. I'm up on the hill. That's all I ever asked for. I really hope the camera can portray how steep this freaking hill is. So, got a couple options here. Forehand through the back door or a big hyzer. Over the short basket, I'm gonna take this hyzer play. Hopefully I can hit this big gap here. Oh my God. Well, that was ridiculously bad, and yet I kicked right up to the basket anyway. Well, I managed to miss my line by like 50 feet, but got a great tree kick. Saving par, heading into the final hole. Well, folks, we made it to 18. Thank you for coming along. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel and all the people who come up to me at tournaments and stuff and thank me for all these videos. That's why I do them. They're a lot of fun for me to make, and anytime I can help somebody study for a tournament or learn a course or whatever is awesome to me. So thanks everybody. If you can subscribe, that'd be dope. I hate doing that YouTuber question thing, but helps me feel like it's worth doing. So 18, it's up. You can see probably a short basket, maybe not on the edge of this clearing here. So you've got to get all the way into the woods here and then up the hill to the basket, quite a bit up there. The left side here, the road and over is OB. So that's the big obstacle. If you get too far right, you don't really have a shot into the woods to get up to the basket. So it's really important to get to the mouth of that tunnel without ending up left. Wow, let's go. If that stays in bounds, that'll be fine. Good, that'll do. I can get up there from there. Got a tough little shot here. I could probably backhand it, but I am not sure I can get up there with a backhand. I'm gonna try this kind of baby flex, maybe a little more than baby flex with my tactic. It does drop off to the left here, so it would be good to get it up there without going too far left. Good tree kick. It's gonna be like 35 feet, but it didn't go down the hill. All right, see if I can save par to end the round here. It's a long way uphill. Bummer. Oh well. All right guys, Thank you for coming along. Meadow Ridge is an absolute beatdown. Very rewarding if you play half decent. Doesn't take a whole lot to score well. Here again, even is like over 1,000. So damage control, stay off the hills, stay out of the rough, and you'll be okay. Thanks everybody. Deuces.